Episode 1 and 2 shared the same review, 12 minutes short. Episode 3, a 14-minute video. Then we get to this week's episode 4 video. And it's as long as it seems to be right now. If you are new here to this channel, I'm Chillmonger. You have full permission to hit the like button. I thank you for that. The thumbnail, the moment I saw that, we were outside of the black and white, outside of the sitcom situation. It's Monica Rambeau, and I think Randall was in, Jimmy Woo was right behind her. James. Okay, we get started. This began with things happening and the face forming of Monica. I said, oh, she got her powers already. Okay, Spectrum. No. That was the blip undoing itself and her coming back. So she was blipped, and that's that. Where she was the hospital. Not for herself, for her mom, Monica Rambeau. This was very interesting to me and very comic booky because you see, 5 years have passed and she had to react to the death of her mom. The death of her mom happened 3 years after the blip, and she's trying to piece this together. And now to you and I, we get it. We're like, oh, okay, that's some traumatic stuff. And I like seeing the re-blippening happening in different settings. We got to see it in a high school in Spider-Man. We're getting to see it in a hospital here. Think of other situations that would be interesting. Someone's doing construction. He's building something. He's on the 17th floor. And then all of a sudden he's, whoa, it's complete. What's going on here? There's so many ways that this could go. But she dies from cancer. And that may be a nod to Marvel. And thank you for Trinity of 2nd Street Marvel for making me think that way. This was the first episode where I actually had to rewind, and go back and see a scene again. That was a good sign for me watching this. I like hearing the old quotes from the Captain Marvel movie, Lieutenant Trouble, that kind of stuff was said as Monica was reassembling herself. So we nodded to things in the very past. Now, I want to also appreciate the love and the stuff that, the attention that Monica gets, the attention that Darcy gets, Darcy being the MVP of this episode, the attention that Wanda has been getting. These are not top tier characters. These are below characters. These are characters you're like, oh yeah, they're part of it. But now the next movie we see, the next team up movie, you'll see Wanda standing right next to Hulk and Spidey, and she'll fit because we're giving her so much. And who's to say Monica won't either? Because when she gets her powers, she's going to be a big deal. And with all this frequency talk, you know they're getting her. She's getting her powers. That is her power. 2 years after, and then the music hits, and it reminds us we're in a Marvel Studios production. Dun, 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 dun. And you know they didn't give us the cheap, shorter, weaker version. They gave us the full-on MCU intro, as they've been doing in the past 3 episodes. But this one hit a little bit differently. This one was a reminder that, oh yeah, I'm Kevin Feige and I'm capable of this 9 out of 10 product. This was a 9 out of 10. So she's walking. Monica is back at the Sword headquarters, which of course apparently it's been there the whole time. And Monica Rambeau helped build it from the scratch. Whatever, I'll take it. You know, things are classified. There's like levels to the shield stuff, and if you're not, it's classified. They nodded to Photon, the name of Photon of Monica Rambeau. We already saw that in Captain Marvel. That's her call sign thing. They nodded to Spectrum when she was walking. The news channel was called Spectrum News. They nodded to Captain when they addressed her as Captain Rambeau. All names that the character has taken. She's been Captain Marvel, she's been Spectrum, she is right now Spectrum, and Photon. Which one are they going to go with? I prefer you just go with the one that's happening currently in comic books. Why complicate the thing? You don't have to do it in order, where first she's Captain Marvel, then she's Photon, then she's... There was another one in there that I don't even remember. If I Googled her, I'd find it. But she had another little name for a little bit. Pulsar, was it? Maybe it was that one. Let's just give her the name that's happening now in comics. All right, cement it. You know why they changed the name every now and then. It was like the Captain Marvel trademark stuff that freaking DC and Fawcett we're fighting each other. Marvel comes in, we're called Marvel, we might as well have a Captain Marvel. So to use the trademark, to use the character, So there always had to be a character named Captain Marvel. It's complicated like that, and I did a poor job of representing it, but you get it. I love that when Tyler Hayward was talking to her, she made it clear that there's there always was full of threats and allies. She's talking about the Skrulls. She's talking about Carol herself. There are these threats out in space, of course, but don't forget that we've got very fine people on both sides. Tyler Hayward takes over as the like director of Sword, I guess he is, and we're gonna see him later on when he reaches the Westview, New Jersey. It's not Westview. It's something. It's something in New Jersey. It's just west of Eastview, which was a funny ass joke. I don't laugh much, but I laughed at that joke, and I laughed at the joke that Darcy made when she was in the car with those 4 other scientists, and she's like, "Okay, you're a Boy Scout. What are you? What are you? What are you?" And then finally, the Boy Scout tells her he's a bioengineer. She's like, "Yeah, no one cares." Laughed my head off twice at this show. Love that. Darcy's the MVP. I'm telling you, Darcy is the MVP of this episode. So there's guidelines in case of a vanished personnel, according to what Maria Rambeau put in. Is this related to Carol Danvers? I can see why the events of the first Captain Marvel movie could happen and making people think, we probably should do something just in case people disappear, and we'll keep them on little mini missions until then. I think there's something to that, and I feel like there's a lot of attention to detail to implement that rule that they used. Now, when Jimmy Woo introduces himself, boom, magic trick. Here's my card. Continuity. Mwah. That he was learning magic tricks back in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he was much bigger of a joke character. Here he's much seriouser. I don't even see the same jokey kitty character he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah, that's a continuity issue when you're not the same character. But if they're fixing something from something I don't like, then I'll give it its points. There is a license plate that was 718, like ZB718. So I picked up this comic from my collection. It's the 718th Avengers. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. Issue. It's got nothing to do with Wanda. The thing is, like 2 issues prior to this, it was a story, Avengers No Road Home. And Jim Zub wrote that. So that's where the letter ZB or ZB comes from. And I thought I was going to crack a code. I thought I was going to crack a license plate code. And I failed at that. But I got close. So maybe 718 means June the 18th. July of 2018. So whatever comic came out with Z and B, then that's probably what that was. Okay. A drone gets sent into the thing. That's the same drone that interrupted Wanda's life. I thought it was a real helicopter that she turned into a drone when it entered her TV world. I was wrong about that. But it was a sort of drone. We have other drones that make it inside there. And I love Darcy, her no bullshit superpower that she has. Hey, I noticed all these drones that are coming into the little TV world. Sir, what information do you have from it? He goes, well, the data is classified. And she goes, okay, so nothing. Darcy, just cut the bullshit. Give that woman her coffee. I didn't care about Darcy this way. But now the intern has become the master. So good love to Darcy. She mentions that there are cosmic microwave background radiation. The thing with cosmic microwave background radiation, they're not like the foreground radiation that we're used to. Foreground radiation, I'm kidding, I have no idea what that fucking means. But it's got something to do with the universe in the beginning of it. So the wavelengths are how Monica will get her powers, is what I wrote down. That is my prediction for this. That's a theory. Let's not even pretend like I'm an expert on that one either. Agent Franklin gets sent down underground because there's no proof that this little thing isn't subterranean. Great point. There's no proof that it's not true. There's no proof that it is true. We experimented with that science. So he got his way in. They did pull out the other end of that jump rope, and he is turned into a beekeeper. So anyone who had an idea of AIM agents, not true. It's just something she did. to change him into something she's familiar with. I love knowing that they put something in there and then they confuse us, to make us think one thing, to us comic fans for thinking something and then changing their minds. Keep in mind that Agnes, the neighbor, could be Agatha Harkness, and also could not be Agatha Harkness at all. And this could really be the villain being Wanda, and she's very villainous. I'll get to that point in a second. When Darcy figures it out, has it on TV, Tyler asks her, the director of SWORD, who, what, when, where, why. She says, triple, I don't know. I don't know if this show is happening right now, and it is happening right now, based on Jimmy Woo giving the Wanda, where are you, over the radio. If he says it and it happens right after, with a 7-second delay, then I believe that it's happening right now. And there's a whole bunch of questions he did not only answer. I love that they were asking questions that fans were asking. They were doing the Easter egg hunt the way that we do the Easter egg hunt, and treating it appropriately, asking the right questions. I loved that, and that's their job. They're inspectors. And one of the things that Jimmy Woo does was he says, originally this began as a missing persons case. And because of that missing persons case, they made it hot that Wanda's been just controlling this part of New Jersey. And I guess that's why the Avengers weren't called from jump. And I guess that's why things built to the way they are now. Where are the Avengers now? I don't know. That hasn't been answered. You would think they would be the first phone call you make as soon as that TV plays and, look, it's Wanda. But that didn't happen. A full 24 hours passes. Now, how could they have helped? Let's be real. Carol probably could have helped. Yeah, Nick Fury should have gone on his beeper and called her. She might just appear, though. You never know. She could be here in the next episode. Agent Franklin goes down. They go, we're going to keep this channel open to communicate with him. So remember that may play a part later. So all these characters, they have real names. It's not Mr. and Mrs. Hart. They're played by Todd and Sharon. They all got fake names. I mean other names, except Agatha Harkness. Agnes. She was not identified. We don't see an ID next to her. Does that mean that they got it maybe off screen at the next scene? Yes, it could mean that. But they're playing with us, and I like that, Marvel. Keep playing with me. Who is behind this? All those questions. Skrulls made it on the little brainstorming whiteboard. Could be Skrulls. Probably isn't Skrulls, but I like that that's an option still. And Darcy, reaction to seeing Geraldine. I love it. Because she had the same reaction I had. She was in shock. Oh, that's the one. But wait, is she in deep cover? That's what I thought. And we'll get the answer to that by the next episode. So far, all we know is that she was booted out, and she goes, all of it, it's Wanda. Were you playing a character, though, or were you completely warped until the moment Wanda had a moment of weakness and she mentioned Pietro, and you thought about Ultron? Is that what happened? Or were you just playing along to try to figure things out? I hope for the latter. I hope she was playing along. I hope that this character is actually like a genius. So far, so good. I love the way that she's her confidence, her brilliance, her package. I love the way that she is now, and I want that strong character. Oh, since I said strong character, there was some SJW moments that I would never notice these things, except for YouTubers who have ruined or who have changed the way I see something. Not so much ruined, because sometimes they are right, but for the most part, they're hateful. Okay, check this out. The woman, Monica Rambeau, was supposed to be in the position that Tyler Hayward was. Tyler's only there because she was blipped away. So, a white man can't be the leader or something? Mm-hmm. And when he is, it's only because the black one wasn't available. What's wrong with being a white man anymore? Hey, there was 4 scientists on that ride. Remember, Darcy was one of them. Okay, we got a woman. None of them were white. What's going on here? What's wrong with being a white man anymore? All the men were Asian or Indians. It's hard out here for white men. Marvel needs to stop going woke. It hurts. Now, honestly, I don't care about that. I like diversity, and I think that's a great thing. And it's a great way to introduce characters who have no back history in Marvel Comics. It's not like you're changing Reed Richards from white to black, which would be a mistake. Reed Richards is white in the comic books. Keep him white in the comics. and keep him white in the movies. Same with Human Torch. But that's just the way I think about something. Hey, Jimmy Woo, he doesn't have kids, right? Is that because he's not interested in a woman? Why are they forcing this on us? You can point at things like that. So the radio time skip is what the agents see when shit gets real. Jimmy was saying, Wanda, can you hear me? Can you help me? And then a time skip happens. And it rewinds to when everything's normal, and they're confused on what the hell's that? What happened to this episode? That's what I mean by the 7-second delay. We get to hear Geraldine mentioned Ultron's name. And then Darcy's like, wait, did you just mention something from our real world? And then it time skips over. If Wanda's in true control, she would have never let that stuff air. Not once. The Ultron part is, she would have time skipped 10 seconds before that. But she's not in control that way. There's a 7-second delay, which is common in live broadcasts. That's my opinion, and that's why I think that way. And probably nothing. Did I say everything I wanted to say? Yeah, that was it, man. I love this episode. You guys saw me tweeting on my Twitter account, Chillmonger, with 2 R's, because there's already a guy named Chillmonger. I was saying how this is like the longest 28 minutes of my life. This was a phenomenal episode. 9 out of 10. It brought me back to Marvel. I loved it. I'm happy to talk about this. I will be happier to talk about this in the live stream. I was about to end this video without mentioning the Wanda being the villain part. Now, this is clearly a mental health issue that's happening with Wanda. In my opinion, if she is in control of what's happening here and basing everything based on her desire with no outside influence, this makes Wanda the villain. I almost said WandaVision. And there's no redeeming her for that. This is obviously something that's happening to her. But if I try to put it in real world, real people actions, like if someone's going through a thing, and it could be anything, and they react to a situation or violently to a situation, something like that, that's cool. I mean not cool, but I can blame what they're going through. And maybe we can treat it, okay, crimes of passion. But what Wanda's doing is consciously evicting people from her reality. Forcefully, it looks like she's kidnapping them and entering them into the Westview bubble of TV. That's what it looks like. If she's doing that on purpose, there's no redeeming Wanda. I don't want to hear, no, this is advocacy for mental illnesses and this could be great. Not the case, in my opinion. And that's a touchy subject, but that's how I feel about that. I feel strongly about that. I don't think we should just not I can't speak for you, actually. I can only speak for myself, and I'm not going to just forgive her. She's got a lot of work to be done. Now, if the Earth is under attack and, we have her in jail, we're not going to say, no, you're in jail, no saving. Let's be real. Remember, like Ileana back in the X-Men, back in the San Francisco days, they kept her in jail, but then they needed her to F with Juggernaut, who was, he got a Thor hammer back during Fear itself. You remember that? Yep, that happened. One last little thing, is that Monica Rambeau, Geraldine, was booted from the TV bubble. And we saw her go through the wall, into another home, into another one, and another one. She has powers. If she can survive all that, she is Spectrum. Or it's bad writing. But then it's also magic of Wanda, and maybe she protected her. Maybe the red stuff that was covering Monica that took her away, maybe that took the impact. That's just, alright? Boom. Problem solved. You're welcome, Feige, and Victoria Alonso, and Luis Despacito, and the other people. That's the ending of this video. Thank you for watching.